Hi folks, good evening. Pat here, episode 107. We started these live streaming shows, the series, 2 years this evening, Kathleen. So this is the third St. Patrick's Day we're going to be playing our live stream on. And thank you very much, folks, for your continuous support and joining in. So it's the second year anniversary of our live streaming series, and St. Patrick's Day, that's what kind of sparked the idea. I think COVID had sprung upon us and the country was pretty much locked down on March 15th, 2020. So the rest is history, as I say. Pardon the voice this evening, folks. No excuse for it, really. It's not because I've been singing too much or drinking too much or drinking too little. It's just in a small little bit of a quandary. But
that was Little Beggarman, was it?
Yeah, and there's a version called Red Haired Boy as well. It's Little Beggarman is what I was thinking of an Irish tune, and Tommy Makin's mom, Sarah Macon, was the lady that kept that song alive, or one of the people that did, and passed it on to the generations, the Little Beggarman. And as we're on the subject of Tommy Macon, no one more Irish than Tommy Macon has brought his music right around the world, the English-speaking world in particular, and left a great legacy of both songs that he had written and songs that he wrote and songs that he covered. Still in spring officially here, Kathleen, and it's starting to, the grass is starting to grow, and the weeds are starting to grow, and the leaves are starting to grow. There's a piercing wintry breeze blowing through the budding trees. I buttoned up me coat to keep me warm, for the days are on the mend and I'm on the road again, with me fiddle snuggled close beneath my arm. I've a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues. I have rosin in me pocket for me bow, and me fiddle strings are new, and I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. I have friends in every town as I ramble up and down, making music at the markets and the fairs, to the donkeys and the creels and the farmers making deals, and the yellow-headed tinkers selling wares. I've a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues. I've rosin in me pocket for me bow, and me fiddle strings are new, and I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. I have friends in every town as I ramble up and down, making music at the markets and the fairs, to the donkeys and the creels and the farmers making deals, and the yellow-headed tinkers selling wares. I've a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues. I've rosin in me pocket for me bow, and me fiddle strings are new, and I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. Here's a health to one and all, to the big and to the small, to the rich and poor alike, and foe and friends. And when we return again, may our foes have turned to friends, and may peace and joy be with you until then. I've a fine felt hat and a strong pair of brogues. I have rosin in me pocket for me bow, and me fiddle strings are new, and I've learned a tune or two, so I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. So I'm well prepared to ramble and must go. We want to wish you a very happy St. Patrick's Day as well, from myself and Kathleen.
And sorry guys, I can't comment. It's the same as last night when I was on with the Krugers, but I can only like everybody's post. I cannot comment. I'll have to go. So apologies.
Go back after, is it?
I can go back after, yeah, but I can't do it now.
Okay.
So, same thing happened last night. I think it happened to a lot of people.
Have an easier night than usual, Kathleen, or what?
No, I like the commenting. I like putting up different mode, but I can't do anything only like.
I know. So it's an accumulation of issues this evening that we'll get over. including my voice. Again, pardon the texture. It's a bit rough.
It's husky.
Husky. It's a family show, Kathleen, so husky is
Okay.
as we'll do a Cork song. Send this one out to all our friends locally, and this is called the Bowl Teddy Quill. And Bernie O'Grady up there in Limerick as well. My cousin and her family. Hope you're having a good one. I know she likes this song. And also to my sister Anne and her husband Johnny. And they've just taken in a Ukrainian family, mother, father, and a little kid. And it's sad, these things, but we'll try and keep the spirits high this evening, folks, and celebrate St. Patrick's Day the way it should be. Ye maids of the Hollow who are anxious for courting, a word of advice I will give unto you. Proceed to volunteer to the athletic sports field and hand in your names to the club committee. Do not commence any sketch of your programme till the carriage you'll see coming over the hill, down through the valleys and glens of Kilcorny, with our own darling sportsman, the Baltady Quill. For running, for roving, for football and sporting, for drinking black porter as fast as you'd fill. In all your days roving, you'll find none so jovial as the Muskerry sportsman, the Baltady Quill. Great hurling match between Cork and Tipperary was played in the park by the banks of the Lee. Our own darling boys were afraid of being beaten. They sent for Baltady to Ballinagreed. He hurled the ball right and left in their faces, showed the Tipperary boys action and skill. If they came in his way, he swore he would brave them, and the papers were full of the praise for Teddy Quill. For randing, for roving, for football and sporting, for drinking black porter as fast as you'd fill. In all your days roving, you'll find none so jovial as the Muskerry sportsman, the Baltady Quill. At the Cork exhibition there was a fair lady whose fortune exceeded $1 million or more, though the bad constitution had ruined her completely and medical treatment had failed o'er and o'er. Mama, says she, I know what belays me, and cure this disease that is threatening to kill. Give over your doctors and medical treatment, I'd rather a squeeze of the Baltady Quill. For rambling, for roving, for football and sporting, for drinking black porter as fast as you'd fill. In all your days roving, you'll find none so jovial as the Muskerry sportsman, the Baltady Quill. The Muskerry sportsman, the Baltady Quill. That was especially for Carmel as well, and Cahill is watching with Carmel, and I hope you're waltzing around the kitchen, because Kilcorny was mentioned in the song, and that's where Carmel originally came from. And she knows they was in the Big Smoke up there in Dublin, and I can't wait to see you, Carmel, and for a few songs, and I'm keeping it as Irish as I can this evening, folks, because of the day that's in it. And as we're on the case, this is the only stream we're going to do this week, because there's 3 gigs after tonight, tomorrow, the Shebeen sessions, the last of the winter series, and we're playing in Foley's Kenmare on Saturday, and Mary O'Connell's and Ballincollig on Sunday. And okay. And the Baltady Quill was a song that Tommy Macon took to Carnegie Hall. He took it right around the world when he was with the Clancy Brothers in particular. There's a few versions of it. Anyway, here's one from Ralph Mattel's pen, an Irish song about a guy who was in England, and he wishes he was back in his native county Clare. And we remember all those who are Irish diaspora away from home today. They can't get back in particular. Thankfully, technology is helping to bridge that gap, but we think of all the Irish folks living outside of Ireland for sure, and their families, and hope you're all keeping well. Beautiful song called Clare to Hear. I'll do the slow version, Kathleen.
That's right, I can.
So share the room, and we work hard for the crack. Getting up late on Sundays, we never get to Mass. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. Oh, it's a long, long way, it gets further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. When Friday night comes around, always into fighting. My ma would like a letter home, but I'm too tired for writing. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. Oh, it's a long, long way, it gets further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. The only time I feel alright is when I'm into drinking. It eases off the pain a bit, and it levels out my thinking. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. Oh, it's a long, long way, it gets further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It almost breaks my heart when I think of Josephine. I promised I'd be coming home with pockets full of green. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. Oh, it's a long, long way, it gets further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. I dream I hear a piper play. Maybe it's an ocean. I dreamt I saw white horses dance upon that other ocean. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. Oh, it's a long, long way, it gets further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. Oh, it's a long, long way, it gets further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. Have some more coffee. Coffee is good, Kathleen. I don't know, will you get a chance to make another cup?
Would I make the honey and lemon?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah, okay.
I have the whiskey later. Thank you, Kathleen. Okay, folks. Well, Clare to hear. I'm going to do another song this time. This is a song from east of Clare. And again, it touches on immigration, and it's written by a man who immigrated to America, and he wrote the song, a love song really, I suppose, and he passed away at age 24 or something. But it's just a great song behind. Last night as I lay dreaming of pleasant days gone by, me mind being bent on rambling, to Ireland I did fly. I stepped on board a vision, and I followed with the wind, till next I came to anchor at the cross of Spansel Hill. It being on the 23rd of June, the day before the fair, when Ireland's sons and daughters crowds assembled there, the young and the old, the brave and the bold, their duty to fulfill at the parish church near Clooney, a mile from Spansel Hill. I went to see my neighbours, to hear what they might say. The old ones were all dead and gone, the young ones turning grey. I met the tailor Quigley, he's as bowed as ever still. He used to mend my breeches when I lived in Spansel Hill. I paid a flying visit to my first and only love. She's as white as any lily, as gentle as a dove. She threw her arms around me, saying, Johnny, I love you still. She's Nell, the farmer's daughter, the pride of Spansel Hill. But I dreamt I held and kissed her, as in the days of yore. She said, Johnny, you're only joking, like many's the time before. The cock, he crew in the morning, he crew both loud and shrill. I awoke in California, many miles from Spansel Hill. I awoke in California, many miles from Spansel Hill. Spansel Hill. Thank you, Kathleen. So, just folks, in case you're wondering why Kathleen is not replying back to you, I think there's some new bug or something in Facebook, Kathleen.
It happened last night. Tammy was last night as well. It happened. She was on board last night with it as well.
Is Tammy on now?
She's on there now, so
Tammy,
she knows
you
it as well.
explain the technical issue, please.
It's crazy. I can only like everything I can.
You can make your own comment, obviously.
I can, yeah, I can.
Okay.
But yeah, I could do that.
But you can't answer if people are posting. You can't kind of
I can only like
communicate
everything.
and based on that post. You can't
Yep.
reply as such. Send them comment every time. Okay, folks. Okay, we'll the next song sometimes is confused as the last two songs were from County Clare. The next one sometimes is considered to be a Clare song, but it's a Kerry song. But Clare is mentioned and two towns are mentioned. But it's about some cliffs on the north coast of County Kerry. When you look across the beautiful Shannon estuary, you can see the west coast of Clare. You may travel far, far from your own native home, far away o'er the mountains, far away o'er the foam. But of all the fine places that I've ever seen, there is none to compare with the cliffs of Dunedin. It's a nice place to be on a fine summer's day, watching all the wildflowers that ne'er do decay. Oh, the hare and lofty pheasant are plain to be seen from the high rocky slopes round the cliffs of Dunedin. Take a view o'er the mountains, find sights you'll see there. You see the high rocky mountains on the west coast of Clare. Oh, the towns of Kilkee and Kilrush can be seen from the high rocky slopes round the cliffs of Dunedin. Fare thee well to Dunedin, fare thee well for a while, and to all the kind people I'm leaving behind, to the streams and the meadows where lakes I have been, and the high rocky slopes round the cliffs of Dunedin. Beautiful song brought to our ears by the great Christy Moore, of course. Everything going according to plan?
Everything is going okay.
Mentioned Carmel Smith when I sang the Bowl Teddy Quill. Next one I'm going to mention her sister-in-law, Joan O'Reilly, and her husband Neil, who happens to be Carmel's brother. You distracted me there, Kathy.
Sorry. Things aren't going right tonight for me.
It mentions Cantor Girls, so this one's gone out to you, Joan O'Reilly, whether you like it or not. And we spent a couple of days in Kinmare in the company of Joan and Neil, and we had a great time. And it was a Monday, was a fantastic weather, Kathy.
Monday was super, yeah.
Photographs and got to see wonderful places. And I was lucky because I didn't even have to drive. Neil did the driving. Thank you, Neil, for that. Appreciate it so much. We had a great time playing music and eating and drinking and having a good time, basically. Did you enjoy it, Kathy?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks again to the O'Reillys. And let's go for the Murshin Durkin, made famous by the great Johnny McAvoy, but covered by people like Luke Kelly. In the days I went a-courting, I was never tired resorting to the alehouse or the playhouse, or many's the house beside. I told me brother Seamus I'd go off and be right famous. Before I would return again, I'd roam the world wide. So goodbye Mushing Durkin, I'm sick and tired of working. No more I'll dig the Brady's, no longer I'll be fooled. Sure's my name is Carney, I'll be off to California. Instead of digging Brady's, I'll be digging lumps of gold. I've courted girls in Blarney, in Clonturkin, in Killarney, in Passage and in Queenstown, that is the Cove of Cork. Goodbye to all this pleasure, I'll be off to take me leisure, and the next time that you'll hear from me will be a letter from New York. So goodbye Mushing Durkin, I'm sick and tired of working. No more I'll dig the Brady's, no longer I'll be fooled. Sure's my name is Carney, I'll be off to California. Instead of digging Brady's, I'll be digging lumps of gold. Goodbye to all the boys at home, I'm sailing far across the foam, try and make my fortune in far America. There's gold and jewels aplenty for the poor and for the gentry. When I will return again, I never more will roam. So goodbye Mushing Durkin, I'm sick and tired of working. The more I dig the Brady's arms, the longer I'll be fooled. Sure as my name is Carney, I'll be off to California. Instead of digging Brady's, I'll be digging lumps of gold. Where instead of digging Brady's, I'll be digging lumps of gold. Instead of digging Brady's potatoes, I'll be digging lumps of gold. Let's hope that happened for that man. A lot of people going abroad in search of fortune, and sometimes it came their way, more times it didn't. It's just tastes good, Kathleen. Hoping it's going to do good. You can take the spoon out again.
You can, yeah, but the honey might sink again.
Okay. I'm sinking myself, I think.
Is the hat too warm, do you think?
It's keeping things inside my head, Kathleen. They could float away. I think they're all inside in this part here.
Yeah.
The emptiness. I just heard this beautiful song being sang. It's from a Scottish poem, and the melody was put to the song by the MacPeaks from Northern Ireland, and William Ian Miller was on is probably still on live, and he plays with the Irish Rovers, the famous group, and he sang a beautiful version of this a while ago while I was online, and a song you all know, and I'll have to drop it down a tone or so. The summertime is coming, and Kathleen, you said something about good weather.
Yeah, so I believe in April we're supposed to be getting some heat wave, I believe.
Heat wave.
I think England and Ireland.
Heat wave in Ireland.
Unless there's fake news.
Mean, folks, you know
it could be fake news. I was reading too, but
come over and see us all. The weather is fine. Oh, the summer time is coming. The trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pluck wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? I will build my love yon pure crystal fountain, and on it I will pile all the flowers of the mountain. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pluck wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? If my true love, she were gone, I would surely find another where wild mountain thyme goes around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pluck wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? Will you go, lassie? And that mentioned Heather, and our friend Heather is in Ireland at the moment, up in Achill Island. So happy St. Patrick's Day to you and your mom back in North Carolina, of course. So thank you for tuning in this evening, folks. A lot of you are probably busy. And next one is a request from Angela over there in Birmingham. Angela Russell, thank you for the card as well. Got some cards. Thank you, folks, for those of you who sent us St. Patrick's Day wishes in physical form. And this one is a song that was suggested that I learned from Nora O'Shea, Kathleen Flynn, and they're great, great followers of Sean Kane, the great Irish singer Sean Kane, and his band as well. And Sean's manager, to my knowledge, is Johnny Broderick, and Johnny wrote this lovely song. And I had to listen to it a few times, and as the more I listen to it, the more I sing it, the more I like it. I like songs like that. Sometimes something kind of bowls you over on first take or first run. Sometimes that can dwindle away. I like stuff to grow on you. But it's about an old man. He's standing at a canvas in America, and his grandson approaches him as he's getting ready to paint something, and his grandson asks him to paint a picture of Ireland, the country that his grandfather left. And that he does, and that young boy grows into a man himself, and eventually a granddad. And so the final verse is telling of the once was the grandchild, is now the grandfather, as he lay dying in his bed, and the painting of Ireland is behind, and he's telling his grandchildren. So if I'm not wrong there, Kathleen, that spans 5 generations. Another one of those songs that tells the story of the mass immigration from Ireland through the centuries. An old man stood at the canvas deciding what he'd paint that day, when he was found by his grandson, who was on a brief holiday. The old man, he was distracted at the young boy's request on that day, as tears welled up inside him when he heard his grandson say, paint me a picture of Ireland, of things you remember the most, its mountains and its valleys, its islands and its coast. Paint me a picture of Ireland, of things your memory still holds, something to show my grandchildren, a glimpse of the green, white and gold. The old man, he had left Ireland when the famine was still in its prime, leaving a dying people to survive in the race against time. He landed like millions of others in a country that opened its doors. He never forgot his homestead and shared stories of family and more. Paint me a picture of Ireland, of things you remember the most, its mountains and its valleys, its islands and its coasts. Paint me a picture of Ireland, of things that your memory still holds, something to show my grandchildren, a glimpse of the green, white and gold. Now an old man lay dying, with his grandchildren all round his bed. He wants to tell them a story about the picture there over his head. My grandfather painted it for me when I was much younger than you. This is where he came from, and this is where your roots are too. This is a picture of Ireland, of things that he talked of the most, its mountains and its valleys, its islands and its coasts. This is a picture of Ireland, of stories he often told. He was so proud to be Irish, wrapped up in the green, white and gold. He was so proud to be Irish, wrapped up in the green, white and gold. You like that song, Kathleen, as well?
I do, I like it.
So it's definitely a picture, a very visual song. If I was good at drawing, Kathleen, I'd paint what I see. Maybe I should take it up in my old age.
Maybe you should.
That's a long way away. 20 years away at least. Okay. As I mentioned, we were in Kelleher, and we had a nice little session in Crowley's Bar, right next to Foley's, two of the great venues in Kelleher. And there was a young guy asked for this song. Remember that, Kathleen? Written by Sean McCarthy, to my knowledge, Highland Paddy.
I do.
And that's what probably jogs you. Remember, you picked this one out tonight, Kathleen. You're a bit of a rebel, I think. One evening fair, as the sun was shining, to Kilkenny I did ride. I didn't meet but Captain Brady, a tall commander by his side. You are welcome, Highland Paddy. By my side you'll surely stand, hear the people shout for freedom. We'll rise in the morning with the Fenian band, rise in the morning with the Fenian band. In the morning we rose early, just before the break of dawn, blackbirds singing in the bushes, greetings to a smiling morn. Gather round, ye men of Ireland, gather Fenians, gather round, hand to hand with sword and musket, spill the blood upon this holy ground. Then you were welcome, Highland Paddy. By my side you'll surely stand, hear the people shout for freedom. We'll rise in the morning with the Fenian band, rise in the morning with the Fenian band. There's a glen beside the river, just outside Kilkenny town. There we met this noble captain, and they dead upon the ground. You were welcome, Highland Paddy. By my side you'll surely stand, hear the people shout for freedom. We'll rise in the morning with the Fenian band, rise in the morning with the Fenian band. There's a grave beside the river, a mile outside Kilkenny town. There we laid our noble captain. Birds were silent when this Fenian died. All my life I will remember, I'll remember night and day that once I rode into Kilkenny, and I heard this noble captain say, you were welcome, Highland Paddy. By my side you'll surely stand, hear the people shout for freedom. We'll rise in the morning with the Fenian band, rise in the morning with the Fenian band, rise in the morning with the Fenian band, rise in the morning with the Fenian band. I always envisage a bass playing along with that, Kathleen. Bum,
Yeah,
bum,
to be
bum.
good.
I'll teach you the bass, Kathleen. Sorry, I'll have to get you to learn the bass. I couldn't teach you. I can play it for recordings after working out the notes. I can play some spontaneously, but not great. If I kept at it, I suppose. I love the bass, for sure. We'll slip Tiernan Devine's request in next, Kathleen.
Okay.
Remind me to edit the set list later, because our friend Heinz over there in Germany, and
I'll do it, alright.
he's putting the times in for the videos and so forth. So we exchanged the set lists, and thank you, Heinz, for that. Dieter and Sabine and all the folks in Germany who look in regularly. We appreciate it. Wish you all a very happy St. Patrick's Day. I better tune this guitar, Kathleen. It's a bit like myself this evening. It's a bit hoarse like myself. A song Tiernan requested is one of my favourite songs. Beautiful piece of Songwriting by the great Johnny Doohan, one of the prolific songwriters of our time. In a song, he compares a voyage of a ship to the voyage through a relationship. And he's basically telling you when you're starting out in a relationship with someone that you've got to take the highs and the lows, the rough and the smooth, and ride the storms, and hopefully reach your destination of true love and contentment. I am a sailor, you're my first mates. We signed on together, we coupled our fates. Hauled up our anchor, determined not to fail. For the heart's treasure, together set sail. With no maps to guide us, we steered our own course. Rode out the storms when the winds were gale force. We sat out the doldrums in patience and hope. Working together, we learned how to cope. Life is an ocean and love is a boat. In troubled waters, it keeps us afloat. When we started a voyage, there was just me and you. So now, gathered round us, we have our own crew. Together we're in this relationship, bitted to with care to last the whole trip. True destinations not marked on any charts. We're navigating to the shores of the heart. Life is an ocean and love is a boat. In troubled waters, it keeps us afloat. When we started a voyage, there was just me and you. Now, gathered round us, we have our own crew. Life is an ocean, and love is a boat. In troubled waters, it keeps us afloat. When we started a voyage, there was just me and you. So now, gathered round us, we have our own crew. Now, gathered round us, we have our own crew. That's for you, Tiernan. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Tiernan plays some ballads, some five-string banjo. And here's my trusty Deering Vega Longneck 1999 vintage. Just the last year of the last century, Kathleen. Just slipped it into the 20th century. And bit of a workhorse it is. As I was going over the far-famed Kerry mountains, I met with Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. I first produced my pistol and then produced my rapier. Stand down, deliver, for you are above the sea, where wish your ring, a-ma-doo-da-ma-da. Jenny. She sighed and she swore that she never would deceive me, but the devil take the women for the ever and be easy. But she ring them a do them a da. Back fall the daddy-o, back fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Well, I went into my chamber for to take a slumber. I dreamt of gold and jewels, for sure it was no wonder. But Jenny drew me charges and she filled them up with water. Sent for Captain Farrell to be ready for the slaughter. But she rang them a do them a da. Back fall the daddy-o, back fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Was early in the morning, before I rose to travel, up comes a band of footmen, and likewise Captain Farrell. I first produced me pistol, she'd stolen the paper rapier. I couldn't shoot the water, so a prisoner I was taken. Was she ring them a do them a da. Back fall the daddy-o, back fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. And if anyone can aid me, 'tis me brother in the army. If I can find a station in Cork or in Killarney, and if he'll go with me, we'll go roaming in Kilkenny. I'm sure he'll treat me better than me darling sporting Jenny. Wish her ring them a do them a da. Back fall the daddy-o, back fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Wish her ring them a do them a da. Back fall the daddy-o, back fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Hey! This is making loads of noise. Do a song from the pen of Tommy Macon. One of my favourite Macon songs. Farewell to Carlingford. And it's a beautiful spot up in the northeast of our country, and his nephew Jerry and his lovely wife Mary took us there to see the place, Kathleen, and
I remember it, yeah.
it's just as beautiful as you'd expect, and maybe even a little bit more than that. Now when I was young and in my pride, I could wander wild and free. There was always a longing in my mind to follow the call of the sea. So I'll sing farewell to Carlingford, farewell to Greenock, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. On all of the stormy seven seas I have sailed before the mast, but on every voyage that ever I made, I swore it would be my last. So I'll sing farewell to Carlingford, farewell to Greenock, and I'll think of you both day and night until I man's life is all his own. He can go or he can stay. But when the sea gets in your blood, when she calls you must obey. So I sing farewell to Carlingford, farewell to Greenmore, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. So I sing farewell to Carlingford and farewell to Greenmore, and I'll think of you both day and night until I return once more, until I return once more. Want a pin of Tommy Makem? That's a good idea, Carmel. I'm not sure whether singing and or playing the next tune is going to be the most difficult, though. As Jens Kruger says, a lot of notes. But we'll try it.
Go for it.
I have to take the glasses off for this.
Do you want more of that drink? Will I make more?
I'd say I'll be okay, I'd say.
Coffee?
That's right, that's right. Okay, the Wild Colonial Boy is next on the list, Kathleen.
Okay.
How's everyone doing?
All good.
There was a wild colonial boy, Jack Duggan was his name. He was born and reared in Ireland, in a place called Castlemaine. He was his father's only son, his mother's pride and joy. And here he did his parents love, their wild colonial boy. At the early age of 16 years, he left his native home and to Australia's sunny shore he was inclined to roam. He robbed the rich, he helped the poor, he shot Judge McAvoy. A tour to Australia was a wild colonial boy. One morning on the prairie, as Jack he rode along, and listening to the butcher bird singing a mournful song, out stepped a band of troopers, Kelly, Davis and Fitzroy. They all set out to capture him, the wild colonial boy. Surrender now, Jack Duggan, for you see we're 3-1. Surrender in the Queen's high name, you are a plundering son. Jack drew 2 pistols from his belt, and he proudly waved them high. I'd fight, but not surrender, said the wild colonial boy. Jack fired a shot at Kelly, and it brought him to the ground. Then turning round to Davis, he received a fatal wound. A bullet pierced his browning heart from the pistol of Fitzroy, and that was how they captured him, the wild colonial boy. All together. There was a wild colonial boy, Jack Duggan was his name. He was born and reared in Ireland, in a place called Castlemaine. He was his father's only son, his mother's pride and joy. And here he did his parents love, their wild colonial boy. Yes, here he did his parents love, their wild colonial boy. Up your boy, he said. Well, as we keep on saying and keep on getting excited about going to America in September, and we're going to stay around the North Carolina area. And next song, our host Tony Deal always asks for this song since I introduced it to him, The Fields of Athenry, a very sad song. And the writer, the composer of the song just passed away, Pete St. John, at a good age of 90. And on Famine Day last year, Kathleen, you remember I got a mad fit.
A crazy one fit, I'd say.
That's unlike me, isn't it?
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's typical you.
Okay. I won't argue. And
in a good way.
so Pete St. John put out a little post on Facebook, and he used to post practically every day. And he said, you know, for a Famine Day, he'd love if someone could go, or some folks could go to Athenry in Galway and sing the song The Fields of Athenry in a field in Athenry. And that we did, Kathleen. We found the field and it was raining, and It's on YouTube. You won't recognise me. My beard is down to here. It wasn't long before the beard shave I had last year, and this was, as I said, Tony Deal in North Carolina, host, just loves the song. We send it out to our friends in America, and the fields of Athenry. All about a young man who decides to steal corn during the famine times from his neighbouring landlord's field to try and help feed his starving wife and child, and gets caught red-handed stealing Trevelyan, the landlord, famous landlord for all the wrong reasons, and he gets transported off to Botany Bay for his so-called wrongdoing. What else would a young husband or a young father do? I better pace myself in this one. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young girl calling. Michael, they are taking you away, for you stole Trevelyan's corn, so the young might see the morn. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Come on, drown me out. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young man calling. Nothing matters, Mary, when you're free. Against the famine and the crown, I rebelled, they cut me down. Now you must raise her child with dignity. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. By a lonely harbour wall, she watched the last star falling, as the prison ship sailed out against the sky. Now she lives in hope and praise for her love in Botany Bay. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. Well, folks, sad song, and 2 years we've been doing this, and I think next week, Kathleen's probably Friday, is it again? Or we'll let you know, Friday or Sunday.
Friday.
And we also remember there's a good few people I can think of, unfortunately, have passed away. They used to tune in regularly, and so we'll remember those souls as well as we head into the third year of live streaming. How are you feeling about it, Kathleen?
Well, it's you doing all the hard work. I'm only
You're
behind the
willing
camera.
to stick the pace, yeah?
I'm there all the time. I don't mind.
I hope you are as well, folks, and I hope you don't feel obligated to join in, because we just love your company. It keeps us sane and well, and hopefully does the same to you. And we'll leave you with a couple more. There's a couple of requests, and as I said, we remember those who have passed away throughout those 2 years, and who tuned in regularly, and hope they're at rest and at peace, and hope they don't drink any of the next concoction, because they could be just happily in heaven, and they could rise from the dead again, Kathleen.
It might cure you if you start at it.
I know, but I'm not sure whether I want to come back to this weary world at the moment, but we'll stick it out. We'll be optimistic and positive and all that. And but this is a funny song from Cork, and brought to our ears by Jimmy Crowley, the great troubadour from Cork, and he launched a double album over last weekend. Is it, Kathleen? Last weekend, yeah. And
last Saturday evening, and they
some great Cork stories on it, and he gave us this song, and Christy Moore covered it in a recent album as well, as a matter of fact. And it's all about cider that was stored in whiskey barrels, and as you can imagine, the whiskey contaminated the cider, and the cider became exceptionally strong, and it appears that it had loads of hidden qualities that came to light when people started to drink this stuff. And send this one out to Tom and Patty Kennedy, or Massachusetts, New England hosts in America. I was talking to Tom yesterday for a while. It's great to hear his voice, and wishing him and Patty and all the family happy St. Patrick's Day. And of course the neighbours, I call them neighbours, Kathleen, because I just think of Tom in the cottage, and
that's right.
the Zajacs just 2 or 3 houses away. So best wishes to Joe and Kerry and all that family as well. Eddie Dillon, all who know us over there in the Massachusetts area. And this song, I know Tom does a great version of it, Tom Kennedy himself. And the concoction that I mentioned was christened Johnny Jump Up. It made you jump up and be sprightly, and be lots of other things as well. But as I said, be careful, because you could get raised from the dead. Maybe that's what happened to the Messiah himself. Maybe he had some of that stuff on the third day. I'll tell you a story that happened to me one day as I went down to Youghal by the sea. The sun was bright and the day it was warm. Says I, a quiet pints wouldn't do me no harm. I went in and I called for a bottle of stout. Says the barman, I'm sorry, all the beer is sold out. Try whiskey or paddy, 10 years in the wood. Says I, I'll try cider, I heard that it's good. Oh never, never, oh never, oh never, oh never again. If I lived to 100 or 110. I fell to the ground and I couldn't get up after drinking a quart of the Johnny Jump Up. After lowering a quart, I made straight for the yard, where I bumped into Brophy, the big civic guard. Come here to me, boy, don't you know I'm the law? I up with me fist and I shattered his jaw. Well, he fell to the ground with his knees doubled up. It wasn't I hit him, 'twas Johnny Jump Up. The next thing I saw down in the All by the Sea was a cripple on crutches, and says he to me, I'm afraid of my life, I'll be hit by a car. Won't you help me across to the railwayman's bar? After lowering a quart of the cider so sweet, he threw down his crutches and he danced on his feet. Never, oh never, oh never again, if I lived you 100 or 110. But I fell to the ground and I couldn't get up, after drinking a quart of the Johnny Jump Up. Well, I went up the Lee Road, a friend for to see. They call it the Madhouse in Cork by the Lee. And when I got up there, the truth I do tell, they had the poor bugger locked up in a cell. Says the guard testing him, say these words if you can. Around the rugged rock, the ragged rascal ran. Tell them I'm not crazy, tell him I'm not mad. It was only a drop of the bottle I had. Oh never, oh never, oh never again, if I lived to 100 or 110. Where I fell to the ground and I couldn't get up, after drinking a quart of the Johnny Jump Up. A man died in the Union by the name of MacNab. They washed and they laid him outside on a slab. And after O'Connor, the undertaker, his measurements to take, his wife took him home to a bloody fine wake. Well, 'twas about 12 o'clock and the beer it was high. The corpse he sat up and says he with a sigh, I can't get to heaven, they won't let me up, till I bring them a barrel of the Johnny Jump Up. Oh never, oh never, oh never again, if I lived to 100 or 110. I fell to the ground and I couldn't get up, after drinking a quart of the Johnny Jump Up. That sounds like great stuff, Kathleen.
It was.
Whoop. Folks, we're nearly to the end of the show, and a special request for Jan Downs, one of the great child ballads, Belfast or Dublin, whichever version you prefer. And it's called Tell Me Ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Is that the way it is, Kathleen?
I don't know, I wouldn't know.
You're only saying that now. Some people say it's the other way around these days. The girls won't leave the boys alone. And I know Cherish the Ladies did an album called, I think the Clancy Brothers did, Wishful Thinking. Especially if you Jan Downs, hope you'll enjoy it. Great old child's ballad. Clap your hands along. Be funful for St. Patrick's Day 2022. Some of you I know are on a different timeline, so the day is not even over for you yet, folks. Have a great time at any of the parades or any of the activities. And we live to fight another day, as they say. Tell me, Ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Put my hair and stole my comb, that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, 3. Please would you tell me who will see? Albert Mooney says he loves her. All the boys are fighting for her. Knocking the door, ringing the bell, singing, oh, me true love, are you well? Out she comes as white as snow, rings on her fingers, bells on her toes. Oh, Johnny Murray, he says she'll die if she doesn't get the fella with the roving eye. He said, me ma, when I go home, boys won't leave the girls alone. Put my hair and stow my comb, that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She is the courting 1, 2, 3. Please would you tell me who is she? The wind and the rain and the halo high, the snow come travelling from the sky. She's as nice as apple pie, she'll get her own that by and by. When she gets a lad of her own, she won't tell her ma when she comes home. Let them all come as they will, it's Albert Mooney she loves still. Tell me ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Put my hair and stow my comb, that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, 3. Please would you tell me who is she? Let them all come as they will, it's Albert Mooney she loves still. With that, folks, we bid you good night. And will I pour out a drop, Kathleen?
Oh, go for it.
And Shanty Kelleher. Put my kettle on for the next one. And wishing you all a very, very happy St. Patrick's weekend, we call it over here. It fell nicely, as we said this year. We got an extra bank holiday, as we call it, public holiday, tomorrow. Especially for all the people that helped out during the pandemic, including the health workers. And I was involved in water treatment myself. And keeping all those utilities and services going during this pandemic. And we all got an extra day, and enjoying it for sure. So before we leave you this evening, folks, we wish you the very, very best. If you're in the zone that St. Patrick's Day is still active and ongoing, including here, obviously, there's probably still a lot of stuff going on before midnight and after midnight tonight. And in the United States, of course, the eastern United States, you're 4 hours difference at the moment, Kathleen.
Yes.
I think their clocks have changed and ours haven't, so hopefully I'm getting those
Not
times
for another
right.
week or two, isn't it?
That's right. And so Shlanta Kelleher, folks, happy St. Patrick's Day from me and Kathleen. Until we see you next weekend, we'll post with whatever day is going to be on. And thank you very much for all your best wishes. And I'll be back stronger than ever. Oh, all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done, for want of wit to memory now, I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, all the comrades that e'er I had, they were sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they would wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, so I'll gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all. Happy St. Patrick's Day from me and Kathleen. Have a good one. Shanty Kelleher.